Okay, so we moved on to the section, we went through reacting to challenges, we went through advocacy, and now we're in the middle of grief and becoming who I am today. Okay, guess I'll just stay standing. The title of the story is In the Dark Pacific, Finding Wonder and Courage. A creature twice my size was swimming straight toward me as I floated on the surface of the dark Pacific Ocean. In the eerie glow of the underwater lights, I caught what looked like a mischievous smile as the massive manta ray approached. My heart pounded. It seemed certain to crash into me. Then at the last possible moment, the manta ray performed an elegant flip, and glided back into the depths, as if taunting me in the most playful way imaginable. I surfaced exhilarated and breathless and immediately looked for Max. Earlier that day, I wasn't sure my then 20-year-old son would even be in the water. That morning, Max had tried snorkeling again and again, but water kept rushing into his mouth, making him feel like he was choking. He grew frustrated while his brother and cousins excitedly compared notes about the fish and coral they had seen. Being on the autism spectrum with motor delays, Max has often struggled with physical activities that come naturally to others. By the afternoon, he was convinced he'd have to miss the manta ray experience too, another bucket list moment from our family Hawaii adventure that might pass him by. That evening snorkel posed even more challenges: cold water, total darkness, and the dreaded snorkel. But after hearing the crew describe how participants could hold on to a floating bar, I asked, could my son still participate if he can't use the snorkel properly? He should try, one replied. But if not, he can just lift his head to breathe. That's exactly what Max did. For 90 minutes, he dipped his head in the water, held his breath to watch the manta rays, then popped up for air. My husband David floated right beside him while I was separated in the next area. Even in the darkness, I could recognize Max's silhouette, which I knew better than my own. He wasn't just okay, he was transformed. The pride on his face afterward reminded me that there's always more than one way to experience wonder. Max wasn't the only one pushing through challenges that night. My 80-year-old dad, Alan, was too. While he's super fit and always up for adventure, the jet lag had caught up with him. In addition, he struggles with the cold, and the water that night was brutally chilly. To make matters worse, his wetsuit top was too loose, letting icy water rush in. By the time he climbed back onto the boat, he was shivering and shaky, slipping slightly on the stairs before catching himself. Wrapped in towels and sipping what he now calls the best hot chocolate of my life, his demeanor shifted completely. His memories now aren't about the cold or the strain. They're about the majestic manta rays and that perfect cup of cocoa. While Max and my dad were finding their own ways through the experience, I was confronting my own unexpected hurdle. Despite having done 3 triathlons, including one in rough ocean conditions, I was shaking before we entered the water. Something about swimming toward wild creatures in the pitch dark ocean felt overwhelming in a way that organized races never had. I almost stayed on the boat. But with Max finding the courage and my dad pushing through exhaustion, how could I let fear win? Once we were all in that dark water together, my fear began to fade. Each time a manta ray approached, and they did, again and again, it felt like a gift. Floating next to my sister-in-law Kelly, my niece Layla, and my son Eli, I found comfort in their voices, especially during the coldest moments when my shoulders felt ready to give up. Surrounded by my family, I felt both fully present and achingly aware of who was missing. This life-changing trip had been decades in the making, and my mom would have loved every moment. Well, maybe not the manta rays. I could picture her on the boat with a cup of tea, cheering us on, but perfectly content to experience it vicariously. She would have adored the entire trip. Our leisurely breakfast, all 10 of us gathering within the hour, cousins running around like they owned the place, the epic family photos, sunsets at the luau, the view from the top of Haleakala. A year earlier, we were all supposed to take a multi-generational family trip to Alaska, but Mom's sudden cancer recurrence ended those plans before they could begin. As I reflected on the week, the joy of being together, and the ache of my mom's absence, I realized what the manta ray had shown me. Wonder doesn't always arrive as we expect. Sometimes it rushes towards us like fear, then flips away at the last second, leaving us breathless. And sometimes it carries the spirit of someone we love, reminding us that magic can coexist with grief. That night I saw courage take many forms: Max's persistence, my dad's grit, my own shaky resolve to get in the water. The most meaningful moments often come from simply showing up for each other, especially when it's hard. My mom may not have been with us in Hawaii, but her dream of gathering our entire family was finally realized. And somewhere I imagine her smiling that same mischievous smile as the manta ray, proud that we had found our way to this moment of courage and wonder together. Thank you. Now it says break or buy books. So I think that I know most people here probably have the books, but if you don't have the book and you want to buy it, or I've heard it's a great gift to give to friends. We're selling them just for $9.99. It's a great deal. So you can have a gift for friends, or you can give it to your spouse, or I can sign another book. I think I have markers here. Laura, did you see any Sharpies? Oh, was I supposed to say Q&A? Are there any more questions? Oh, Benji.
What's your favorite story that you've read?
Thank you for asking that. I think my favorite story that I have written. My favorite story that I've written. See, I already prepared this. Which one did I say? We were in the car. We I think I was gonna say my triathlon story, and I love that because it was like everything. There were so many different challenges, so many comic moments. My parents were there, like watching all of it when I was in Montauk. My friends were there from my tri group, and like we were all helping each other. And my kids were on FaceTime, and by the end, I just felt so proud of myself to have done it. And that was also only the second story I wrote. But I just love writing it and sharing it because it not only showed about me, it showed about like how I had amazing friends who showed up for me. And that's like a big thing of what I learned is like showing up for others can be so much more motivating than just showing up for yourself. And you can do it at different times. Like when I was struggling, someone showed up for me. And then an hour later, my friend Rhonda was struggling and I showed up for her. So thanks for asking that question. A+.
All right.
Oh, my cards.
Yeah.
I like ours.
The marker.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.